Just getting some compost ready. This don't look half bad at all. But like with anything, nothing finishes all together. You'll have leaves and sticks and this and that in it that hasn't quite broke down. So I generally screen all my stuff. And then the big stuff goes back into the compost heap. And then what you're left with is some really, really fine, good looking compost that just breaks up and goes in planter as well. The peat moss gets screened too. There's usually not a whole lot of bad stuff in it, but you'll have some chips and some twigs and other stuff that may get in your way. From that to that, with nothing in it. And it is advisable whenever you're screening peat moss to wear a mask. It's got a whole lot of small particles and dust that kicks up whenever you're doing it, and it's probably not good to be breathing all that. Okay, right now we have 4 parts of the screen compost in the bottom. To that we're going to add 2 parts of peat moss. Now when you're doing parts, it doesn't matter what the unit of measurements is. This is 4 bowls plus 2 bowls. Usually it would be either buckets or gallons, but this is just a small batch to get some plants started. So we've got 4 parts of the compost, and we've got 2 parts peat moss. To that we'll add 1 part perlite, and 1 part vermiculite. Now your compost and your peat moss will make up your organic compounds for your soil. The perlite aids in drainage and aeration of the soil, and then the vermiculite actually is there to absorb water and help hold water into the soil. Also, the peat moss is naturally acidic, so we're going to add a big tablespoon of lime to that just to offset the peat moss. And generally speaking, about a tablespoon of lime, tablespoon, somewhere in that neighborhood, for every gallon of peat moss that you're using. After a couple cups of water is added, everything gets mixed together, and you can see it's real good consistency. I ended up adding a couple more handfuls of perlite after the fact, just to kind of loosen it up a bit more. I was going to show you too, one of the reasons I was so particular about screening everything is I'm going to start most of my seeds in these very small containers. So that was why the fineness of each of the amendments were crucial to whatever I was doing.